I recorded 2 videos and they didn't show up in YouTube. So let's hope today does. Our system went down yesterday afternoon, so that might have had something to do with it. Okay, let's revisit this one. What I also could do this, right? Unesa said, let me do LCD of 6. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. That's an acceptable strategy. I'm just gonna cover this up for a sec. What if I left it as 1/3 minus 2/6? Okay, so what am I gonna do here? My LCD was 6. So I'm gonna do times 2 times 2, right? So I get 2/6 minus 2/6, which is 0, right? It's fine. You might have to do a little more reducing at the end sometimes, but yeah, that's fine too. Okay, let's take a look at example 2. What would you do first here? I see a multiply. I see a multiply, I see an add and a subtract, but I see these guys are in brackets, right? So that's what we do first. Okay, so I have 5/3 times, okay, what's happening here? I'm just going to rewrite my brackets to show that I'm doing this work inside here. What's minus 4/5 plus 2/5? Right? -2/5, right? Okay, so this is just kind of showing a double multiplication. I guess I didn't really need these brackets, but I have -5/3 times -2/5 minus 1/3. So we're going to do the multiply next, right? That's the next in the order of operations. So what do I have here? I have equals. This time I'm going to cancel my 5s out because I find it lots easier to do that. It's easy. I think it's easier to cancel out when you can when you're working with fractions. So here I would get 1 times -2, -2 over 3 times 1 minus 1/3. So far, so good? All right, I have the same denominator, which is great. I don't have to do any conversions. So now I'm going to ignore, once I have the denominator written, I could just ignore them. And just think you have a -2 and a -1, both the same sign. So I sum everything up. 2 and 1 is 3, and it'll be a negative. And I think I can reduce this even more, right? It would just be called -1. Okay, if something's fuzzy, you got to speak up and ask me questions, okay? No?
What's that?
I said if something is not clicking, got to ask questions. Jerome, did you have a question or are you just stretching? Okay, yeah. Madison?
How is 3 over 3 negative 1?
Oh, because they both have a common factor of 3, right? I could think of what, this is also division bar. 3 divided by 3 is just 1, right? They have a common factor of 3. You could think of it that way too. So I'm going to divide a 3 out of each piece just to reduce it. So I'll get 1, I guess there's a preliminary step. I'll do this. -3 over 3 would be, if I divided a 3 out, I get a -1 over 1. And anything written over 1 can just be written as the top number, right? 1 divided by 1 is just 1. Yeah? Like 5 divided by 5, I would just call that 1. 7 divided by 7, I would just call that 1. Yeah? And a negative over a positive is negative. All right, let's take a look at this last example. I've got -2/3 divided by, in brackets, 1/3 plus -3/12. So there's definitely work to be done inside the brackets, right? So let's see if we can do, yeah, there's two sets of brackets, right? This bracket is indicating some multiplication inside there, right? So there's lots going on here, right, Christy? So whatever I'm not working on at the moment, I have to keep rewriting, which is tedious, right? But that's proper math. If you have two sets of brackets in equations, so a lot of times people will use, because the round ones were already used, so they'll use a square.
But in the previous question, you did do bracket and bracket again. Not in the
Yeah, you know what, there's no rhyme or reason, to be honest. No rhyme or reason. You could have easily written this as double rounds. Okay, so let's see what we got here. I guess first, when we look inside the brackets, as you said, inside the brackets, there's a multiplication happening, right? So I guess I'm going to have to do that first. 1/3. Okay, 1 times negative, that would just end up being a negative 3/12. Agreed? Positive times negative is negative. Okay. Now, I still have to do work inside the brackets. I'm combining fractions. What's my LCD? It would be 12, right? Okay, so I have to multiply by 4 and multiply by 4. Well, 3 times 4 gives me 12, right? So I'm going to keep going here. Okay, so inside the brackets, I still haven't done my work inside the brackets. I'm going to keep rewriting it till I do it. So that would give me 4/12 minus 3/12. Okay, finally I can do the combining, right? What's 4/12 minus 3/12? Divided by 1/12. Now, is this set of brackets doing anything? Multiplying by, I guess, a positive 1, it really doesn't change anything, does it, Christy? Like 1 times. Sometimes negatives are used, especially at the beginning of a sentence. Some people don't like starting a math sentence with a negative, so they'll use brackets. It's not doing anything, so I'm just going to move up here. I'm just going to rewrite it as negative 2/3 like that without my brackets. They're not doing anything. Yeah, you could say they're multiplying a 1, but multiplying 1 doesn't change anything, okay? So now I know I've got both fractions ready to go. They're not mixed, so I can do I can turn it into a multiplication, and I'm going to multiply by the flip of the second fraction, okay? So I won't do any canceling because I kind of get the feeling this class doesn't like me to cancel early, so I'll just do it the long way, okay? 12 times 2 is 24. 3 times 1 is 3. A negative times a positive is negative. Okay, can I reduce 24 divided by 3? I think it would just be 8, right? 8 over 1 or just 8? Yanesa?
Miss, why did you multiply divided by 4?
Because
By 12.
well, no, I already had a 12 here. My LCD was 12, so I wanted to keep that 12. So in order to get a 12 on the bottom here, it's just, the multiplier would be 4, right? 3 times 4 gives me 12. 1 times 4 gives me 4. That gave me 12s on the bottom. You told me the LCD was 12, didn't you? So if the LCD is 12, that means I want 12 to be the denominator. This guy has 12 on the denominator already. He doesn't have to change. I only had to change these two numbers to be 12s, right? I don't want to change this one. He doesn't have to be changed. Yeah.
I messed up at
Yeah.
3 instead of the 2.
Okay. So they're time consuming, right? But you won't have to do more than this. You're not, some of the questions on the next page, like I said, get a little complex, maybe needlessly. Yeah, so I'm not going to sign the next page, right? I said they were challenged because I've got a different page for you to work on. Okay, I don't know if anyone's been working ahead, but honestly, some of these are a little nutty. So I'll do one more of these with you, and then I'm going to give you a different sheet to work on, okay? And if you want, no, I don't want to scare anyone off. I'll do it one-on-one if you want, but not for the whole class. So let's pick one that looks reasonable. You know what? Let's pick A, because that's this is all I want you to get out of this lesson. You've got 3 fractions. What does BEDMAS tell you to do first? So multiplication, right? So let's just clean this up a bit, Christy. So we've got, I heard you say brackets. So then I would have what? 1/2 plus times minus leaves me with a minus, right? Minus 3/4 times 1/3. First, I'll just clean up that sort of double sign, get rid of that first multiplication. Now I'm ready for this multiplication, right? Because these were both multiply. Okay, so let's just do this. I haven't done anything with the 1/2 yet. He's just sitting waiting for his turn. So what's negative 3/4 times 1/3? 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 3 is 12, right? A negative times a positive is a negative. Okay, so now I have 1/2 minus...
Why is 3/4 still a negative? I thought you had to times it by 1.
Well, I did. Timesing it by 1 would be 1, like 1 times anything, and you just end up with this, what you started with, right? 1 times 3/4 is 3/4. It just stays as 3/4, Cliff.
Why even have that out there?
That's a good question. Okay, I have 1/2 minus 3/12. What would you do now?
Make the bottom numbers the same.
Okay, what number would you go with, Blanca?
2 times 6.
Okay, so let's do that. I'm just going to move up here because I don't have enough room. Okay. So Blanca says we're going to use a denominator of 12. So she's going to multiply, or we're going to multiply by 6's. That's going to give us the same denominator, right? That's fine. There are other strategies too. Just remember that. So just, if you've got another strategy, use your other strategy. And as long as you come up with the same final answer, we're good to go. Okay, so great. We have denominators of 12. So my denominator stays 12 on the bottom. Agreed. Once you have your common denominator, it stays. And then I have 6 minus 3. What's 6 minus 3? Okay, so that is the answer. That's the answer. However, it can be simplified. What would this simplify to? 1/4. That's it. Done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you another, I think these are a little nicer to work with. I'm going to give you these guys instead of that stuff. And I'm going to give you this time to work. If you feel you're great, then you don't need to ask me questions. I also thought then this last part of the class, I could walk around and work with people who are just getting stuck or need a little bit of extra help, okay? So maybe we'll even kind of group together at a table. If you do need more practice on combining or multiplying, dividing, I do have some extra worksheets. Just come and ask me. But I don't want to dump and overload you guys if you don't need it. So this one for sure, this has the order of operations, what we talked about today. If you want more practice, like I say, come see me and I've got more sheets for you. The answers are on the back, by the way. This isn't for hand-in. So let me know if you want. Well, actually, I should take attendance, right, before I forget. Okay, so who's here today? Yusuf's here. Jillian? Jerome is here. Jonathan, Hans, Daniel, Lauren, Darian, Trelina, Jaspreet, Christy, Robbie, Amanda, Joby, Siddiqui, Eleanor, Blanca's here, Ashton is there, Roger Madison's here, Tanis is here, Devin is here, Tuwalde, Delmar, Cliff, Tessa, Laney, Brenton, Tara, Anais is here, Josephine's here, Jordy Flett is here, Kason, Jordan Boulay, Jules, Jordan M is here, Aaliyah is here, Nora Jeanette Phoenix is here, right? I'm confused. Nicholas is here. Nadia? Did I? Oh, there you are. Did I call everyone? Yeah. So this is combining, right? So 1/3, okay. So division, think of it as there's no division between all fractions, and it turns into a multiply. Multiplies the inverse of divide, so you have to flip the second fraction to its reciprocal. That's how we work. So we get 6/33. Now the other thing is you can simplify fractions like by fraction, it can be simplified to 1/2, right? So you can simplify the top and the bottom. When we're dividing, we can also simplify top to bottom diagonally. Like that. Okay? So we got 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 1 is 11. Okay? Okay, Nadia, this is your timetable. Sorry, I'm going to keep it yesterday. Okay. Student work. Okay, once again, Brandon's not here, Robbie, Nora, Ashton.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Like the first one, there's brackets, but can you still simplify right across? Like,
Let's see. Right here. doing